In this video, we'll be taking a look at 2 NBA games happening on January 7, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 4 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 2 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Minnesota Timberwolves versus New Orleans Pelicans. NBA action rolls on through Tuesday night with an exciting Western Conference clash between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the New Orleans Pelicans. This marks the first of 3 scheduled meetings between these teams for the season. The Timberwolves are coming off the second half of a back-to-back series as they face the Los Angeles Clippers at home on Monday night. Meanwhile, the Pelicans enter this game with momentum, fresh off a 110-98 road victory against the Washington Wizards, where they easily covered the spread as 5.5-point favorites. The Timberwolves continue to be without Rob Dillingham, while the Pelicans remain short-handed as well, missing key players Trey Murphy and Brandon Ingram. However, all eyes are on Zion Williamson, whose status remains questionable for this matchup. The Timberwolves struggled against the Clippers on Monday, capping a recent stretch in which they have dropped 6 of their last 9 contests. Currently, this Timberwolves squad seems to lack cohesion and energy, making it challenging to have confidence in their performance. On the other hand, while the Pelicans' postseason hopes have already dimmed, they have managed to string together 2 consecutive victories, benefiting from the return of Jose Alvarado. Additionally, there are growing speculations that Zion Williamson could make his much-anticipated return later this week. For the first time this season, the Pelicans have some reasons to feel optimistic, at least until the trade deadline, when roster changes could shake things up. Minnesota will enter this game on the second night of a back-to-back, a scenario that has been a consistent struggle for them this season. The Timberwolves have posted a dismal 1-3 record both straight up and against the spread in back-to-back situations, with an average margin against the spread of -8 points. This indicates that Minnesota has been falling short of covering the spread by an average of 8 points in such instances. A major contributing factor to this underperformance is the team's heavy reliance on Anthony Edwards. Their offense is too top-heavy, lacking the balance needed to consistently create and sustain significant leads. This presents a tough challenge for a Timberwolves team that has underperformed relative to expectations. It's worth noting that while the Pelicans' recent struggles are largely attributable to injuries and the absence of their 2 best players, the Timberwolves' record of 17-17 is unexpectedly mediocre for a team that was expected to contend in the Western Conference. The Timberwolves' current predicament is further exacerbated by the fallout from the Towns Randle trade, which appears to have weakened their roster. Compounding these issues is their lack of experience with back-to-backs this season. Their last back-to-back set occurred in November, and both games were played in Minnesota, requiring no travel. This time, they face the challenge of a quick turnaround, playing a tough Clippers team before immediately flying to New Orleans. Meanwhile, CJ McCollum has been in excellent scoring form, and the Pelicans' supporting cast has been healthy and effective, making them a formidable opponent. The Timberwolves are in desperate need of a win to regain their footing in what has been a disappointing season so far. While they demonstrated their potential by taking down the surging Clippers on Monday, they now face a resurgent Pelicans team that has shown signs of life with recent strong performances from McCollum and Murray. Despite Minnesota's capabilities, the fatigue from playing back-to-back games could leave them vulnerable against this Pelicans squad. So the New Orleans Pelicans to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Fatigue from consecutive games doesn't just impact offensive efficiency, defensive intensity is often where it shows the most. In this game, Minnesota is likely to experience the effects of fatigue, which may result in slower rotations and a drop in overall defensive energy. To cope with this, the Timberwolves could extend their bench minutes, potentially taking Rudy Gobert off the floor and opening up opportunities for the Pelicans to attack the rim. New Orleans, however, has struggled defensively all season, ranking 28th in points allowed, which should give Minnesota plenty of chances to capitalize offensively, even while fatigued. CJ McCollum has been on fire recently, hitting 16 three-pointers over the past 2 games, and his hot shooting is likely to contribute to a high-scoring affair. Both teams have been trending toward the over, with Minnesota hitting the over in 5 consecutive games and New Orleans doing so in their last 6. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Atlanta Hawks versus Utah Jazz. The Utah Jazz will host the Atlanta Hawks in a midweek clash at the Delta Center on Tuesday night. The Hawks enter this matchup with a .500 record, positioning them in 8th place in the Eastern Conference standings. However, they are currently on a 3-game losing streak, making this a crucial opportunity to bounce back and regain some momentum. On the other hand, the Jazz have struggled this season with a 9-25 record but have shown signs of life recently, coming off a 2-game winning streak as they return home. In their 2 meetings last season, both teams secured victories on their respective home courts, adding an extra layer of intrigue to this game as fans anticipate whether this trend will continue in the new season. With fewer games on the schedule for Tuesday night, this contest stands out as a compelling matchup. The Hawks remain shorthanded, with Cody Zeller, Jalen Johnson, and Larry Nance Jr. still sidelined. Meanwhile, the Jazz have ruled out John Collins and have listed Lauri Markkanen as questionable. Atlanta faces the added challenge of a 3-game losing skid, and this being their 5th consecutive game on the road, which could leave them lacking the mental sharpness needed to secure a win. Additionally, injuries have thinned their rotation, making it difficult to find consistent, experienced scoring on the road. While the Jazz are also dealing with their own injury concerns, they possess a deeper bench with players like Walker Kessler, who excels in the front court and dominates on the offensive boards, giving them a slight edge. Utah won and covered the spread at home against Atlanta last season and has covered the spread in 7 of their last 9 games overall, highlighting their recent improvement. The Jazz are 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 games, with their offense beginning to click. Colin Sexton has been performing well, and Keon George's increased impact has been a key factor. The Jazz rank 16th in 3-point shooting percentage, and when they find their rhythm from beyond the arc, they are a tough team to contend with. The Hawks, conversely, have experienced an inconsistent season. They are 8-11 against the spread on the road and 4-6 against the spread in their last 10 games. After a brief stretch where it seemed like the Hawks were finding their groove, they dropped 3 straight games, with none of the losses being particularly close. Their defensive struggles have resurfaced, and they now sit at 15-21 against the spread for the season. Interestingly, the Jazz have managed to pull off 2 consecutive wins as underdogs, with a solid record of covering the spread in 7 of their last 9 games. While the Hawks are still considered the better team, their inability to perform well as favorites, evidenced by their 4-13 record against the spread in their last 17 games in that role, is concerning. Betting on Atlanta as a heavy favorite, especially on the road, seems risky. On the other hand, the Jazz appear to be finding their form, suggesting their recent success is more than a brief uptick. So the Utah Jazz to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. When it comes to the total, the over has been a common trend in games involving both teams. For the Jazz, the over has hit in 19 of their 34 games this season, including 7 of their last 10 contests. The Hawks have seen the over cash in 23 of their 36 games, with a 10-8 record to the over in road games specifically. Atlanta plays at the league's 2nd fastest pace, while Utah ranks 17th in pace, setting the stage for a high-scoring affair. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.